Twitch?
It says now streaming. Yep, I've got to be on my best behavior now.
Okay, let's be very serious. Yeah.
Okay, very serious.
Well, now I'm going to put my city in while, the commercial runs so that we can see we're international because we might just be Spanish. So
cool.
Hello, universe. I am, you know what, Mike? I'm looking at my Twitch and I only see myself. I don't see you, which is very strange.
Whoops.
Are you on Twitch?
I was getting a little feedback.
I switched out of gallery view and back in. So everybody, we are here doing No Pants here, the interview arm of No Pants Improv Ensemble with Mike Burgess today, one of our international cast members who is joining us from Barcelona. How's it going, Mike?
Hola, hello there. All good. Yep. Yeah. It's a decent time for a change for me to connect with No Pants. That makes a change. Yeah. I'm not losing sleep over this interview.
Yes. And we have full, I was telling you earlier, Mike and I were talking, number one, he's convinced me to move there. So goodbye, Chicago. I'm moving to Barcelona. This is my announcement to the world. And number two, I was talking about how even though it's so late for you, you always bring all this great energy and props and like you come alive in improv. It's so cool to see.
It's that kind of business, isn't it? If you've got to give energy, we've lost that. We don't get energy anymore from people online watching us. We can't hear them. We can't hear them laugh. We don't feel the mood of the room. So I think it's more important for us to, create different images and go for it. Yes, why not?
Why? I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Whoops.
So how long have you been improvising?
Oh, gosh, I would say I started improvising at least 20 years ago, but that was with a group called a murder group, murder mystery group. Who done it? And we were a really good group that we toured all the way around Britain. We would hire different venues and create incredible sort of stories for people to enjoy over the whole weekend. We even did a murder mystery on a boat once, HMS Wellington, outside the Houses of Parliament on the River Thames. That was quite good fun. So although we worked within sort of a script and storylines, because we were dealing with the public and punters, we would have to improvise. We would all have to know our storylines and what we could and couldn't give away. But that was the start of my improvisation, as well as being hung from the yardarm, with a noose and being shot at and all the rest of it. So. much to the delight of the Japanese tourists, they'd see someone hanging from a
You'd be like,
ship. Yeah, no, it's not real. It's not real. Cool.
And so, did they train you on that, or was it sort of like, here's your character? If someone asks you something that's off character, make it up?
Oh, you could never get off character. That was a beauty for me. You'd start Friday evening at meal times, and you work your way all the way through Sunday. And they would try to catch you out, but no. Once you established your character, whether it was a mad professor or whatever it was, was it somebody looking into the tomb of Tutankhamun, you kept to that character. Yeah.
But did they give you improv training on like how to do that, or was it just like make it up?
No, it just kind of happened. Yeah.
Cool.
Obviously, you get better at it.
Yeah. And how did you get that job with any kind of theater background, or were you just like, hey, I'd like to try this?
I did get paid equity rates for it. Mainly it was at weekends, but during the day I was a computer programmer. But I'd also done a lot of theatre work in the area with various groups doing musicals or Shakespeare, that kind of thing. So I was known for, you know, showing myself off on the stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
20 years, that's a lot of years.
Not so many when you're my age, which
Well, I just mean like, yeah, that's true. I just think like most of the people that I know that do improv do it with me, and so you know, there's like, unless they're teaching it,
yeah.
they don't usually have that much experience. And I think it's really
I
awesome.
suppose, I mean, improv properly, when I gave up being on the stage and this wasn't working enough to remember all the lines and the moves, started about 8 years back, I guess. You know, just pure improv. And what a difference it made. Suddenly you cared about your other person on the stage. You were trying to make them look good. They were trying to make you look good. And that was different for me, because as an actor, yes, it was a boom sort of, oh, that's nice. Because when you're an actor and you're learning your lines, you want to be the person that's mentioned in the local paper. You know, it's all lovey-dovey and look at me, I'm doing this and I'm the best actor on stage. And sometimes the director is good and they'll manage that properly. Sometimes the director does things you don't want him to do, or, you know, whatever. But the nuance is very different between acting with a script and within those confines, and trying to be the best and ignoring everybody else. But jumping into improv, whoa, so refreshing. Great. I love it.
Yeah. And what kind of impact has like improv and improv mentality and that sort of base nuance difference had on the rest of your life, if any?
It's definitely made me a different person. It really has. I listen more. I pick up on different things more. I'm sure I do. My friends might tell you different, but there you go. But I've also used it as a lifeline when things haven't, you know, turned out so well, either financially well for me or, you know, problems with life-changing events. So, yeah.
Improv therapy.
Improv therapy, indeed. Yeah, why not? We could do with some now, couldn't we, with all this, you know, COVID stuff going around in circles. Yeah. Although, to be honest, I don't know about you, I've thoroughly enjoyed this online improv world that we found ourselves in.
Yeah, I think
and look, yeah, I'm talking to someone now and feeling it, but with someone who's way across the ocean, you know, in America somewhere, heaven knows where, you know. And this morning, you know, I might be talking to somebody in Mumbai or Perth, Australia. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Yesterday it was Moscow.
Sorry, I'm like,
yesterday.
Yes.
No, you're supposed to. Yesterday it was Moscow, Tel Aviv, and Berlin. Hey, it's great. Love it.
Yeah, I've made a lot of like instant improv friends, like people I've been in a class with or done a show with, and then we start messaging and we're pals, or even like, because you spend the whole time looking to make other people look good, I also think you tune into like the energy of what's happening. You know, sometimes there's like a subtext to the scene. I did a scene with John yesterday, and then like he just came out with, he's like, are you trying to establish dominance over me? And like, it didn't occur to me that that's what my character was doing, but I was like, yeah. And I was so impressed with how tuned in he was to like the energy of what was happening, and like just was able to call it out like that. And I think that that's a super cool like improv side effect.
I love that. And if I'm working with somebody and they say something that is not quite part of the scene, you know, they might be in a particular mood. I'll pick up on that, but within my character. I won't let them get away with not being real, Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining myself right.
Yeah.
But if their body language is saying I'm a bit bored, then my character will say, "Am I boring you? Hello, have I upset you?"
Yeah.
And that works. It works lovely.
I think it makes better improv because the audience can see it, you can see it,
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
instead of being like, we're in a show right now and I'm gonna ignore this person's what might be
Yeah.
their shitty acting, or like if you were an actor on a fake show, if they were low energy, or like whatever. But in improv, you're like, is there something we should talk about? Are you like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And then it's interesting because I think a lot of people like go through life and they have jobs and they just want to like get things done, and they don't like, but in improv we practice like tuning into those nuances in our team's energy. And then like because of virtual improv and quarantine, like I'm learning all those things about people in different cultures and countries, and like having those kinds of conversations. I think it's so cool.
Absolutely, yeah. And it makes the scene real. It does make the scene real. So you can act with people who's it's the first time that they've done improv. So if you watch out for what their reality is and what they're doing, if they're nervous, you tell them, "Oh, you're nervous," and you bring that into the scene. You make it part of it. If they make a mistake, you tell them they've made a mistake, but you tell them within the context of what you're doing. It does make sense.
Yeah.
When we're talking together and you pick up on things that someone says, you don't always get your words out properly. Hey, there could be a reason for that.
Yeah.
And in improv, if you are allowed to find out what that reason is. Yeah.
And I've just been thinking about like improv as a kind of acting training lately. Like there's, many different kinds of acting training, but I feel like when you do it through improv and you do it through play and you have this group of people and if you're low energy, they're going to catch you out. Like you have to fully sell it or have a real conversation in character about it. And like, that's a really powerful training because eventually you learn like, I can't half-ass this. I can't bullshit. Like I got to sell this energy to this whole group of people that knows me really well and will call me out on my bullshit. And like, I have to do that in character.
Yep. Yeah. It's interesting. We previously said about different cultures. Very, very different culture in India with their improvisation. They're very, very technical about things. They'll analyze things to the nth degree. However, and we're very easy in Europe. We tend to just be happy-go-lucky. How can you have an exam for improv? But what I understand from America is you go through schools. There are schools specifically for improv. You'll get certification for this. You'll have a level 1, level 2, level 3. That's very strange for me to work out what that does mean. What is it? Because for me, improv is the whole thing. How can you say that you're only level 1, 2, 3, or 4? It's like, I don't know. If you're real in the scene, you're top level. That's it for me. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. But it takes some people a long time to learn it. Like I know Chicago is probably the biggest improv city, and so we have different theaters, and then you get a lot of improvisers who also want to work. And I think part of it is a way of weeding out people who want to get on like the main stage of like.
For sure. Yeah.
Just so you don't have to audition the whole town, because like all of us are like, I started at improv and I'm ready. I know that like, at least in the program at Second City I went through, like each one will have a different thing. Like there'll be like one on like one of the levels will be really focused on emotion, one will be really focused on character. And I know that people come to improv for different reasons. So like the basic level A through E program at Second City, like people come to it because they want to be more comfortable speaking out at work. They come to it because their therapist recommended it for anxiety. They come to it because they come to it for all these different reasons. And so, I think they all sort of need to learn different skills, and they don't all really fall in love with improv to do it, like continuing on after that program. Like they might want to do the whole program, but they don't really all have any further ambitions
Interesting.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like, I'm in the conservatory program now, which you have to audition to get in. And then, but I agree with you. But then like once you sort of, if you want to perform improv and you can come and be real on the scene, that is top. And there's like ways to make people a little bit better at that. But not everybody has that ambition, and not everybody came for that reason. And I think like that's, and so that sort of helps with all the programs, I guess. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. This is why I'm thoroughly enjoying lockdown at the moment. Hop, skipping and jumping all over the world, finding all these different angles to improv. It's fantastic.
You have a hat
I recommend
for
anybody
hop,
watching.
skipping and jumping.
So yes, I've got a basket full of hats. I can put on a different hat for any occasion. Hey, cool.
Yeah. So
right then, what should we do? Then?
Well, you have a show after this. Do you want to tell us about it so anybody that's watching might want to check it out?
It's called Watch This Space. It's an open jam session, so if you get there early enough, you can join the team. We normally have a limit of 12 to 13 people, 12, 13, 14 people joining in from all over the place. And we just have a good time experimenting with old games, new games, and just jamming. Short form rather than long form. And one of the reasons I joined or wanted to join No Pants was the opportunity to do long form. Whoa, fantastic.
Me too.
Yeah.
And now I've been doing long form for so long that we did a short form show last night, and it was so fun. I was like, I miss short form. There's so much, like everything is.
I missed it last night. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I promise.
I needed sleep.
Yes, unfortunately, Mike.
Anyway,
I promised that I would let you go in time for your jam, but I just want to thank you for joining me. I think it was a really cool conversation. It like made me think about a lot of things and appreciate lockdown for getting us all over the world. And it's really cool that we got to have this conversation.
Well, I can see after lockdown, there's going to be lots of people flying all over the world, catching up with different people. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm ready. I have lockdown fever. I'm ready to go dancing. I want to go to a beach. I want to meet humans. I want to hug. I want to,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
You're right. Something simple as a hug.
I'm texting all my friends. Remember when at a moment's notice you could go dancing in a room full of people any night of the week? Like, I didn't even do it very much when I could, but now I miss it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thanks, Mike. This has been so fun. We'll see you next week, world. Bye.